I asked a psychologist, now I'm asking a man of God. What happened to her? Did she also visit a pastor?
It's about Emily. I just wanted to better understand what happened.
Friends and family have all sorts of feelings after an event like this. Guilt is very common.
Guilt is very common. Did she say guilt or ghosts? Something else. Ghosts? Did you say guilt or ghost? Because I'm seeing and having both. Wait, let me check my stats. So I'm at 55% acceptance. And that's pretty much the only thing that's really changed. I feel like let's not jump the gun here. Something else?
I can understand that. This was something else.
Yes?
It's like, Pastor, Mr. Preacher Man, do you believe in spooky ghosts? Little ghosts?
Emily talked about seeing ghosts here in the village. And it's something that I've experienced as well.
Maybe it has something to do with the story of Agnes.
Okay, here we go. A quarter for $1. I don't know what that saying's supposed to be. That this is a legit ghost. And Agnes is an evil, evil demon. Agnes, how do you know that name?
Agnes.
It's a local legend. It dates back to the 18th century. She was a maid who worked in the Lord's estate. Her parents brought her over from Sweden when they came to work here. The story goes that she had an affair with the Lord.
Always do.
When she fell pregnant, he was horrified that she wanted to legitimize the relationship. It was all very different back then, of course.
She fell pregnant? She fell into pregnancy? Did anybody help her? What did she do? Yeah, did anyone help her?
And nobody helped her.
Not from the village, no. And the staff from the house, well, they turned their back on her because of the shame of it.
What did she do? Say nothing? What did she do?
So what did she do?
Out of options and without any hope, she threw herself into the lake on the Lord's estate, drowned herself and the unborn child.
And that's where the ghost stories come from.
Thanks, Anne. Bye. Not exactly. It's said that she cursed the area with her death.
And what about the Lord?
And that her spirit returns to taunt young women into taking their own lives.
What would that be?
It's all nonsense, of course.
Yeah, it sounds like nonsense. Suicides haunted? I guess we'll talk about the suicides.
But there are more suicides here than normal.
Some areas are more prone to this than others. The sad fact is, suicide hotspots occur more often than you'd think. And having a local legend like this only adds to the problem and plays into people's neuroses. Doesn't help that Alexander keeps talking about it.
And who's Alexander?
He's the Lord's descendant.
Oh.
He lives here in the village.
Yes. The estate's had the same family and for hundreds of years. I wouldn't recommend talking to him about this. It's not the kind of thing you want to hear when you've just lost a friend in the way that you have. Can be a little bit grumpy too.
So she's in town then. Like she doesn't live in the province then. She doesn't live in this village. She is an urbanite. Right? Otherwise she would have heard this story. Or she's in the village, hopping a skip over. Hello?
Hello, Alexander?
Yes, what do you want?
I believe I met a colleague of yours today, Dominique. She mentioned to me that you worked at the clinic. I was hoping I could ask you some questions.
Very well. Come in.
Thank you.
I've all of a sudden turned into like this journalist.
This is my friend Emily. She passed away recently.
Yes. I was at the clinic when your friend was there, but purely in an advisory capacity. I couldn't comment on her treatment.
Advisory. Pourquoi?
Advisory at the clinic.
Yes, I retired as a surgeon many years ago, but I would be called back to advise the psychiatric team from time to time.
Why? Look at you looking at your thumbs, twiddling your thumbs. Why did the clinic close? Reverend Peter. Okay, that's a weird misdirect. But yeah, I guess why did it close? It's closed?
Why did the clinic close?
Yeah. Series of patient disappearances. Suicides.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Over the years, it led to its closure.
Let me guess. You were involved in some way? No, how do you know the Reverend?
I spoke to the vicar, and he told me the story of Agnes.
It's Agnes.
That man's a fool.
And a vicar.
He believes in God, but doubts the existence of evil. Ridiculous.
So you believe there's some truth in this curse?
Oh, yes. This house has been under dark clouds for hundreds of years. Ever since my ancestor foolishly impregnated that stupid maid.
What a weird sentence structure. Do you live here on your own? Have you seen her? How are you not dead yet?
Do you live here on your own?
Now, yes. My wife left years ago.
Can't see why.
I would have gone too if I hadn't have believed that I would have taken the curse with me.
Follow you?
You believe the curse would follow you?
Oh, yes. Just as I'm sure I drew it to the clinic. All those vulnerable people. It's an angry spirit. It preys on those who are emotionally open to it.
Have you seen her? You sycophant?
Have you seen her?
Of course. She haunted this house for years, burning the life out of anybody who lived under its roof.
Haunted? That's past tense.
Yeah. The good Reverend hasn't told you the full story, has he?
Let me guess, he's Agnes? Oh.
My ancestor was an arrogant man. He was also stupid. A man in his position should never have gone near one of his domestic staff. I mean, a maid, for goodness sake. I suppose her being Swedish must have added an air of exoticism.
Why does the manor or the estate lord always have like the creepiest look about them? They can't just be wholesome. They gotta be like, ooh, I'm bad. You put this to a different soundtrack, and it sounds like they're having a good time. We are really hanging on this scene, aren't we?
Of course, the inevitable happened. Usually these things are handled discreetly, but for some reason she thought he would acknowledge her as the father of her child. A preposterous idea back then.
He's like, it's not my child.
She had to leave, of course.
How can you do this to me? How can you do this to me? I am your child. Okej! Jag går! Men jag hatar dig för att du gör det här mot mig! Förbanna dig och ditt hus!
There you go. Scorn exchange. Exchange the scorn.
The other staff turned their backs on her. Nobody in the village would help. Quite alone, with no family to turn to, she was left with almost no choice.
To take her savings that she saved for being a maid and then go back to her home in Sweden? Oh, the lake! Okay.
They say that a soul that dies in a state of rage leaves a curse. Well, Agnes cursed us all that day.
So people believe these deaths were because of her.
Records in this house were very carefully kept. Particularly so on an estate so heavily reliant on agriculture. The phases of the moon were noted. Agnes's death was remarked on at the time because of the blood moon that appeared in the sky on the night of her death.
A lunar eclipse.
Indeed. 2 years on, and Agnes was barely remembered, until the next blood moon appeared in the sky.
So supernatural stuff on top of supernatural stuff gave her more power when she killed herself.
That night, a maid in the house swore she'd seen Agnes on the stairs, whispering to her. The days went on, and she became more and more hysterical, claiming she heard Agnes speaking to her wherever she went. The next morning, the estate steward found the maid hanging from a tree.
Weird that she would kill the staff, but not the Lord himself.
After that, we grew to fear the appearance of a blood moon.
Even now.
Let me show you something. Out there used to be the outbuildings that the servants lived in.
What happened?
I had it burned to the ground. When one of the servants started complaining about a woman who'd be seen in the building at night, I'd finally had enough.
And it killed her, right? All right, hold on. Just side note, and I know this is kind of nitpicky, but in the scene where Agnes kills herself, I think it would just, be better if she just walked into the lake, Kate Chopin style, and instead of having that just superficial sort of superimposed picture of a water splashing, right? I don't know. I mean, you can even save yourself that graphic, right? You just have her walk into the lake, imply she dies, put on creepy, gloomy filter, and there you go, c'est la vie. But anyways, did she come back? Fire.
So you set it on fire?
Yeah, that must have done it, right? Fire's what kills Agnes?
Was the only way to drive her out. The vicar's predecessor was very helpful in this matter. He was a far more enlightened man.
Was she seen in the village again? Did she come back? I mean, I feel these are both... Let's do the village.
But has she been seen in the village?
Oh, yes. By the lake where she died. I really don't recommend you go there.
Ah, well, I suppose I'll go there then. I'm kidding. Well, then how does this connect with Emily?
I just want to know if she had anything to do with what happened to my friend.
Look, I hope you find your answers. But if I were you, I'd leave this accursed place.
Okay, so let's break a couple of things down. Emily
Excuse me, do you know where the old clinic is?
You mean the asylum?
Yeah, it used to be mental health.
Yeah, that's it. The old mental place. They turn it into houses now. Follow the road up, half a mile, and turn right.
Thanks.
Yeah. You watch yourself up there. Pretty girl like you. All sorts of weirdos hanging
Okay.
about that place.
Peace.
Yeah,
Laters.
The mental people go back there sometimes. Watch your step. Not that I'm prejudiced or anything.
Prejudice to what? Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so Emily wanted us to find that drive, right? And then we saw her being recorded, which then led us to know about Agnes. But did she want us to know about Agnes, or did she want us to know that they were being secretly recorded? Like, she could have been secretly recorded, right? Now, my high school French is pretty bad, so I don't know what she was saying over the phone.
Hello? Anybody here?
Dominique, that was. I don't know what Dominique was saying over the phone. I still wish we kind of know more. I still wish we knew a little bit more about Kristina. I mean, I think it's cool that, you know, she's super determined to find out who Agnes is, why her friend keeps mentioning it in the journal. But, yeah, I don't know. I would have loved to know more about her. Her favorite food, her favorite color, her favorite number. Go left, straight ahead. Okay, so I went left in the cave. Let's go left in real world. Way out behind us. Got it. God. I love walking around abandoned buildings, especially abandoned buildings with macabre history. I don't know, there's something thrilling about it, exciting. You know what you should have been doing? Taking pictures for Instagram. Let's go left again. Let's just keep going left. So there's an opening here, got some light here. Then we have scratches on the walls. We want to go to places that feel more and more dangerous. These are one of the reasons why sometimes when I'm hanging out with my buddies, they don't like taking me to these kind of places. I'm always pushing them to go, hey, this place looks really unsafe. We should go there. Thankfully, I'm the only one who pesters them like that, and they're all of sound mind, and so they say, shut up, Jan, and we drive off and drink somewhere. But I tell you, given the opportunity, be the first to die in a horror movie. Keep looking. So I guess there's something here that I missed. Maybe we should have went right. But we'll keep looking. We're not in any rush. We got day to kill. Hello? Ghost? Ghosts? It's an empty cigarette pack over there. That doesn't sound like Emily. Uh-oh. Where are you going? Go to the voice. Don't run from it. Face them fears head on. That's Agnes? Okay, why are you doing this, Agnes? It wasn't the maids and the other women who hurt you. It was the Lord. Look. This must have been so much fun to film, though. You know, playing the ghost, or even playing Kristina. What are we looking at? Are we seeing more? Maybe Emily this time? Oh, cool. Frame in a frame, we got squares going on. I dare you, run to her. Wait, we're fleeing. Oh, we're fleeing, okay. That's what's happening. We went left, so we're gonna have to go right. Okay, they're not giving us a choice. Hey, we made it.
Oi! What's your game? You shouldn't be here. This is a closed site.
Say nothing.
What do you think you were doing, wandering about like that?
My friend was a patient here. I just wanted to see it for myself.
I don't think so. Well, this place has been closed more than 20 years.
No, she was here 2 years ago.
This place was closed up after the fire broke out on the ward. They moved all the mental stuff to some other place.
Why didn't anyone tell her that? And what, did you move it? Stop looking at me like that. I'm dealing with things. You know, you could have also Googled it. Maybe Google the next place. Where did my friend Emily... Yeah, let's keep reading. Maybe some more research would be helpful here. All we got is a photo. Is that a photo? See Alexander, see the Reverend. Ooh, interesting. See Alexander or see the Reverend. So the Reverend had a more positive spin on things, whereas Alexander was more elaborative, but I felt like explained more of a truthful picture of things. I would say, now here's the thing, if we went to see the Reverend, I don't think he could give us too much more information about Emily's case, because he never knew Emily, right? Whereas Alexander knows Emily or knew of Emily and would also know of the other clinic, obviously, which is weird that he wouldn't be like, hey, by the by, don't go to... He would have told us the clinic, right? I don't know, that's weird. But we're gonna go ahead and see Alexander, which I think will be really fun, considering that the curse follows him, right? So, yeah, let's see Alexander. Hey, you gave me the wrong address. Where did you work before? It's wrong on your CV.
I see you didn't take my advice. That is unfortunate.
You said not to go to the lake. I didn't go to the lake.